Great. Hello and welcome to the STEMATA interview with DP, a child and adolescent mental health counselor. We're excited to have you here today to discuss psychology, mental health, and the importance of STEM education. Before we begin, could you please introduce yourself, tell us what you specialize in, and share some of your goals?
Okay, so hi, I'm Deepshikha. You could call me DP, and I am a developmental psychologist, and I'm also a trained mental health professional. I basically work with children, and I do psychotherapy and psychoeducation with parents as well. So that's just about me.
To begin, how has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted the mental health of children and adolescents, and what steps can be taken to support them during these challenging times?
So, COVID-19 hit really hard, and it led to a lot of difficult circumstances for families, especially kids. There were newborn fears. There was a lot of uncertainty. Basically, a lot of social interaction was cut down because of lockdown. And when the lockdown was lifted, the transition became really, really hard and tough for kids because they were again going back to society, going back to schools, and there was a lot of behavioral difficulties that was seen. And of course, because of COVID-19, a lot of people and families lost their loved ones, and there were financial crisis. And children kind of saw a lot of these things that we basically protect our kids from these situations or these crises, but they were witnessing it happening in the house. They were seeing their parents really, really worried, and this kind of crept in and induced a lot of fear and anxiety in kids.
What advice would you give high school students interested in pursuing a career in mental health?
So basically, I mean, I would say firstly to be aware of what you really want to do in life, what you really like. So the first step would be to understand what you are very comfortable with. So for example, are you comfortable talking to other people? Because, to get into this field, you need to be a very, very good listener, very good observer. So if you have those skills and if you can work with people, yes, that would be a good start, good pointer to maybe select a profession or a line that is completely in line with working with people. And then, of course, you need to develop a lot of skills. Some people, as we say, are born with it, but there's nothing that you can't develop. So having a growth mindset to develop these skills of maybe communicating with other people, listening to them, having empathy, understanding what people go through, that is where we can start. And then, of course, if you really want to go into the counseling field, you can have a talk with a career counselor. They can kind of help you understand the kind of universities or trainings or even the finances that you would require to go into the sector and how long it is going to take you to ultimately reach there.
What skills do you feel are important in the STEM field? And as a psychology educator and school counselor in the past, how did you help students develop these skills?
So yeah, so basically I was working in a school as a counselor, and I was also training kids with skills. And I personally believe that having that mindset of lifelong learner is very, very important. So the kind of career options and job that we see today may not exist 20 years or 30 years down the line. And it's very important that we instill skills in kids, in students, so that they're ready 20 years later, 30 years later to be able to learn and adapt to newer circumstances or job opportunities. So skills basically that are very, very important are in line with STEM field are your problem solving skills, creativity, your analytical skills, your communication, social interaction, having interpersonal and intrapersonal skills. So, and I've been focusing on these skills with my students because these are very, very important to help them adapt, to be more resilient in terms of the ever-changing job market and career choices and the kind of challenges that society throws at you. So these are very, very important to be up to date.
How do you see the future of STEM education and the role of developmental psychology in shaping it?
So I think it's kind of bi-directional. So when I look at developmental psychology, basically you're working with people, you're understanding growth and development, and STEM field is very, very crucial because when we are working with people, we are working with all sorts of people. We are working with people who are neurodivergent. We are working with people who are also kind of struggling with everyday functioning. And how STEM can contribute to this field is through technologies. We need technologies that would help people learn better, to have more, to enhance functioning in daily life, and also develop these skills, the skills that I was just talking about, because these skills are very, very important. So when we talk about executive skills, so it's basically your prefrontal brain, which takes time to develop. It gradually develops till we reach maybe the age of 25, 26. And the last skills that we develop is executive skills, which is your decision making, your organization skills. And STEM field really, really promotes these skills and gives opportunity to build on these. And this is very, very crucial. So no matter which field you go, be it STEM or any other, these skills are core. We need them to be successful in whatever we do.
What challenges have you faced in your work and how have you overcome them?
So, mental health and psychology can be sometimes difficult to understand, and we do have communities that may not trust these fields completely because these might, clash with cultural ideologies or practices, and they may not, consider this to be their first choice. And of course, this field has a lot of, it's as simple as, something that you can't see, something that's not tangible. It's more difficult for people to understand it. And that is what the major challenges have been around, the trust issues of people with this field. So one of the ways that I think the counseling field and the psychology field has been evolving is becoming more multicultural, where the steering is with the people, with the clients. So it's not just about me or other counselors preaching about counseling techniques which can be great for your well-being, but the power comes from clients. So by uh, being more multicultural and respecting others' views and perspective and integrating those and making use of strength-based techniques. So if you're spiritual, it's great. Now, how can we integrate your spirituality into counseling to strengthen your capabilities? That's the kind of outlook that the field is adapting to make it more friendly.
Finally, how can organizations like STEMATA support the mental health and well-being of high school students interested in STEM fields?
Yeah, very interesting. That's like my favorite question so far. Uh, what and I think, I mean, your organization might already be doing a lot of these things. I think first is, if I look back at my childhood, so I've always been scared of mathematics. Now, the first thing is to kind of make these fields very, very friendly, to remove that fear and to make them more relevant to daily life. So, I often joke with my friends that a lot of the theorems or the theories or whatever, that I've learned, I don't know how those apply to my real life. So why should I even learn them? So I think making it user friendly, making it more relevant, taking out that fear out of, I mean, from the kids about these fields would be really, really helpful. The other would be to provide maybe, volunteering opportunities where students can hands-on see what happens in these fields. Because again, a lot of it is very abstract. So when we see mathematics, all of it is abstract. So to be able to do some hands-on work, apply it in daily life through maybe volunteering opportunities or mentorship, these can become more concrete for them, which would be easier to comprehend and apply. And apart from that, I think promoting inclusion, because again there might be inhibitions taking STEM field, considering people might think it's more expensive, maybe it takes a lot of years, maybe it's not for me because maybe I don't come from a specific background to take up these roles or jobs or educational area. So maybe making it more inclusive, where people, no matter their backgrounds, they're still have this motivation of pursuing these fields. So,
Thank you so much for your time and insights, DP. It was a pleasure talking to you about mental health and STEM education, and we hope this interview has been informative and valuable for our audience. If you have any final thoughts or comments, please feel free to share them now.
yeah, I think that's about it. And I also feel that you're doing a great job. I think you have been a motivation to a lot of people. I was kind of looking at your website and the kind of work you do. It's really, really nice. So I would just say all the best wishes to you for what you're doing, and making something that people might be scared of or may have some inhibitions to go into or preconceived notions about, making it more approachable, people friendly, student friendly. It's a tough job to do, but I think you're doing a great job. So yeah,
Thank you. Once again, thank you for joining us today, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors.
thank you so much for inviting me. I had a lovely time. Thank you.
Thank you.